Welcome to the Level 1 Lounge, where we give our uneducated take on everything and anything gaming related. Grab your controllers and get ready for the final episode of the year. I'm your host this week. I'm the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. I'll get into all my stuff later on at the end of the episode, but let's introduce our two co-hosts this evening, today, whichever. Joining me, as always, Rider Pride 639 and Agent Maverick 86. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
It's been a good day, other than a bunch of snow. But
Yeah, exactly.
managing.
It's
I mean, it's winter in Saskatchewan. What do you expect?
Yeah,
pretty much,
exactly.
yeah.
So speaking of winter, winter brings around Christmas time, and we're going to talk about what we want under our. We've got two burning questions to kick off this episode. First of all, since it's so close to Christmas, guys, what do you want to see under your Christmas tree, gaming related? Ryder, let's start with you.
Well, I mean, I've been eyeballing this game for a while. I've been watching a few content creators play it. I wouldn't mind seeing a little Dragon Age Veilguard under my tree this year.
That was a good game. It was. I enjoyed it, at least, anyways. So that's a good pick.
I'm looking forward to playing Inquisition. I've had it on my on my Epic game list for a while, and
Play it. It's a lot of fun.
play it. Maverick, what about you? What are you looking forward to under the Christmas tree this year?
You know, this is not the typical game that I would play, but it's been talked up about so much.
Doki Doki.
I would. I actually have access to it on PlayStation
That's
Plus.
true. Yeah, that's
I
right.
gave that away for free a few months ago. But the one I'm hoping for is actually Metaphor. Under my tree this year. It's not usually like I'm not big into turn-based games. I played the demo a little bit. I fell in love with the demo. I'm the art style is really good. It did really well at the Game Awards last week.
Yeah, won Best RPG.
Yeah, I
and
really,
other award shows too.
Yeah, I really want to get my hands on that one. I'm hoping that one's under the tree this year. I did ask for it, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll maybe I'll get a stream or something together for that. But that is to be determined with that one.
As for me, what I'm looking forward to under the tree, I mean, I'm getting it as of January 23rd. It was announced at the Game Awards this year that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth would be coming to PC on January 23rd, and Agent Maverick so kindly gifted me this year, so I am looking forward to that. I also got this awesome new microphone as well, so I'll sound better on these podcasts, which is either great or horrible, depending how you look at it.
So at least you can do it hands-free now.
That's true. Look, hands-free, and I'm talking. I'm not holding the microphone.
Yeah.
That looked suggestive there, but oh well.
No, I'm really happy that I was able to do that for you, bud. And I'm really, really excited to see you play that game too here.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Like, just quickly, after my Saturday stream, Agent Maverick sent a message on the in our chat and said, check your Steam account. And I was checking my Steam account. I couldn't find anything. So I decided to check my email. And in my email, it said, Agent Maverick has gifted you Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What? And then it was just full on ugly crying from there on out.
I was wondering why it was taking you so long to message
I was in such shock.
Get this message?
Were you doing like the hyperventilating, like your bottom lip going in and out, going?
I pretty much was, yeah. That was the whole. I was so in shock. I couldn't say anything, and when I was about to say anything, it would come out with a "F you, Maverick."
Yeah,
you mother effer.
Jeez Louise, that sounds almost like how my wife responded after I proposed to her. This thing kind of runs in the family.
Oh, that's great. No, I'm yeah, as I said, I'm very excited to see you get your hands on that one and play it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, like Ryder and I both really enjoyed that game. It was, I mean, it was nominated for Game of the Year. I know it was Ryder's Game of the Year this year.
And it did actually win Game of the Year at another award show just recently too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was it the golden joysticks?
No,
No.
it's another one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it happened like a few days after the Game Awards.
Yep.
Okay. No, a really well done game. For me, like, it was high up there. I can't remember if I said if that was my pick or not on the podcast. But I had a couple really good games that I enjoyed this year. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyways, yeah.
And Ryder, I'm saying it now when I'm doing my playthrough. I am going for the high intimacy level with Aerith on the second date, just to show you up, because I know
Yeah,
you didn't play intimacy with Tifa. So, so now that's my personal mission.
yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, so we actually have a second question for the podcast crew this week, and that is, what game are you most excited for next year? Since we went with Ryder for the first question, let's go with Maverick for the second question.
So I actually have a couple honorable mentions, and I'm going to say this: thank
No honorable mentions.
God,
Get your.
thank God for. I'm not gonna talk in length about the honorable mentions, but and I'm going to say this: thank God for Game Pass. Monster's not here to pitch it, so I'm going to do that.
Xbox.ca.
Yeah, I
Yeah, there we
gotta
go.
say
That was for you, Monster.
thank God for Game Pass with the games that are coming out next year. Because we've got Fable and we've got Doom: The Dark Ages going to Game Pass day one. The other ones, so those are some honorable mentions for me. There's going to be Ghost of Yotai, Lost Souls Aside, Fable. Of course, last week the big one for me, as we all know, I'm a massive Witcher fan. You can
Yep.
see the posters there behind me. That one is not coming next year. There's no bloody way. But the ones that really stand out for me, there's two, and we finally got some gameplay yesterday on one of them, which was Exodus, which is the Matthew McConaughey game. It looks so much fun. It looks incredible. It looks like another Mass Effect, basically, just dealing with a little bit more time travel and that type of thing. And so very very interesting gameplay. Very excited to get my hands on that one.
You could
Um,
say it looks all right, all right, all right.
Yes, sir.
pretty much. Um, the the one that I'm most excited for next year actually is going to be Expedition 33. We've seen the
That
gameplay for
looks
that.
fun.
Yeah.
That has Ben Starr in it, so how can you go wrong?
Yes, and actually, Ben Starr. I found out today that Ben Starr is actually voicing the first Berserker in the first Berserker game as well. So he's actually the main
Nice.
protagonist in that too. I don't know if that one's going to be one that I'm going to pick up yet. It's very Dark Soul-esque, and apparently the combat is going to be very, very brutal. So I don't know if that's going to be my wheelhouse quite yet. But maybe there'll be a demo. I'll wait for reviews, that type of thing. Um, yeah, so Expedition 33 right now is going to be pretty high up there. Another honorable mention I forgot to write down was South of Midnight. Um, but Expedition 33 and Exodus are very, very top, I think, for me. But we can tell you right now, we all know what's going to be Game of the Year next year, as long as it releases, is probably going to be GTA 6. Um,
More than
and
likely.
who knows if that's going to end up actually dropping next year or not, because games still get delayed. Developers need to cook things, right? So
We've seen it.
yeah, so those are my picks. So yeah, Expedition and Exodus.
Cool. Ryder, what about you? What are you looking forward to next year?
Well, speaking of honorable mentions and the games that got delayed, one of the honorable mentions on my list is going to be AC Shadows that got pushed back to February of this year. That one's going to be on the honorable mentions list. Same with Slay the Spire 2. That one I'm really excited for. Love card games, I love roguelites. There's probably going to be a few more on that list that I'm forgetting at this time, but I digress. I think the biggest one that I'm going to be looking forward to with tempered expectations is going to be Borderlands 4. 3 didn't hit very well. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was okay at best. And obviously, as a lot of people know, the TV show, the movie was an absolute stinker. So Borderlands 4 has a very long uphill battle to get themselves back to the point that Borderlands 2 had. Whether or not they can pull it off obviously remains to be seen. You know, they're still hyping it up. They're still, you know, excited about the project, but Borderlands 4 is probably going to be my biggest one. But like I said, with tempered expectations, just because we know the success rate of the past title, you know, everything between Borderlands 2 and now, we know what the success rate of those ones has been. So I'm a little hesitant to overhype myself to it, but I am still a little hyped for it because it is a new Borderlands title.
No honorable mentions for me. It's just the one I'm looking forward to the most. Doom: The Dark Ages. You're playing in Doom in medieval setting. How can you go wrong with that?
With a chainsaw shield.
With a chainsaw shield and a gun that shoots skulls.
Yep.
Like, oh my god, I am so looking forward. Like every time every time I look at my wish list on Steam, I'm like, I see Doom on there for $4.99. I'm like, ooh, if only I had the money, I need to get it. I need to get it. I need to get it. So
no, I'd be surprised that Turok isn't on your honorable mention just because you called it at the video game show.
Hey, I was surprised with that one too. That I called that one.
That one I don't know. Like I think that one is actually doesn't have a release date as of yet. I nothing's been confirmed for that one at least. But yeah, Turok Origins does not have a release date, so I'm going to guess that one's probably going to be 2026, 2027.
Probably.
Because a lot of these games, like we got to keep in mind that when they're announced in this fashion with the Game Awards, it's not going to be like, oh, it's out next year. This is a slow burn. This is announcements. These are ones to keep an eye on for the next 2 to 3 years, right? Like we may not see some of this until the next generation of console, like PlayStation 6 and Xbox Series, whatever that they're going to be naming it, right? So, I mean, we could be optimistic, but I don't think that one's going to be out for another 2 years.
Probably not. I mean, the only other one, like I said earlier, I'm getting it on the 23rd, so that one's just kind of a gimme right there for Rebirth on PC. So I decided to go with something that that hasn't come out yet that I would love to get, not something that I know I'm getting. But all right, well, we've powered up the system, so let's jump into the news. And for the final time this year, we got to talk about this. WB Games Montreal reportedly hit with layoffs. Yet another series of video game industry layoffs has hit workers as WB Games Montreal has reportedly let go of 99 of its development studio quality assurance team members. Major cutbacks and restructurings have plagued the industry since the summer of 2023. And WB Games Montreal is the latest among many to announce another round of layoffs. Both independent and AAA video game studios have faced waves of workforce reductions over the past year and a half, and big names like Sony, Embracer Group, Bungie, Sega, and Microsoft announcing massive layoffs. Thousands of employees have been let go, and dozens of in-development projects have been canceled, with audiences debating the source and necessity of these unfortunate trends. While many were hopeful that 2024 would have a gentler end for developers, the team at WB Games Montreal has unfortunately been caught up with industry-wide cutbacks, something we've talked about before on the podcast, and hopefully this is the end of it for a little while at least. But
for this year anyway.
Yeah, for this year, exactly. What are your guys' thoughts?
I don't even know what to say to this anymore. I mean, and WB, what did they really put out this year other than Suicide Squad, right? Like
that's the one I can think of.
I mean, I guess there was Batman Arkham Shadows that came out, right? Like that one came out and did fairly well for on VR and for Meta, which is great, but not enough. They need to do more. I know that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development with them, but at this point in time, this is unfortunately the norm, and this is something that we've had to kind of start getting used to. And as much as I'm tired of talking about it, I don't think this is going to be going anywhere.
No, and I imagine this is going to continue well into 2025 as well. You know, projects are going to get moved, cut, restructured, what have you. So yeah, it's unfortunate, and chances are we're going to be repeating this ad nauseum at least, another 10-15 episodes into the 2025 batch of Level 1 Lounge podcasts.
Yeah, I think you both have a point there. It's not a trend that's going to be ending anytime soon. Unfortunate to say, but hopefully they can. My hope is that they find work elsewhere and keep doing what they love doing. On to our next news story. The Witcher 4 developer CD Projekt Red explains why it went with Ciri. CD Projekt Red has explained why they went with Ciri as protagonist for Witcher 4 instead of continuing with Geralt as the main character. The Witcher 4 just revealed at the Game Awards 2024 with a debut trailer, is the first in a new trilogy of Witcher games set after the events of The Witcher 3. CD Projekt Red developer stated it was always about her, starting from Saga when you read it in the books. She's an amazing layered character, and of course, as protagonist, we said goodbye to Geralt previously. So this is a continuation. I guess for all of us, it's like she was meant to be. That was always her. Do we want to jump into the map size of Witcher 4? Or do we want to talk about this first?
Let's have a talk about Ciri here first.
Sure.
Because the map size, I think we can get into fairly quick as well.
Maverick, you're our Witcher 4 expert. What are your thoughts? Witcher
well,
expert.
So when it comes to Witcher, they're absolutely right. The whole series, the books and the games were mainly based not so much the games. Witcher 1 and 2 I didn't have an opportunity to play yet because they are being in the process of being remade. Witcher 3 though, give a base rundown, is it was about trying to find Ciri after she escaped the Wild Hunt. She traded herself to free Geralt, so that because Geralt was embedded with the Wild Hunt. So Ciri has all of these abilities that would have benefited the Wild Hunt with her being able to teleport between dimensions. So after that, she escapes, and Geralt and Yennefer have dreams of her no longer being with the Wild Hunt and deciding to look for her. That's the whole premise. That's 3/4 of the game. Just looking for Ciri and trying to track her down as Geralt. And at the end of the game, Geralt ends up giving her a silver sword, basically saying and it was done in a way of I'm passing on the mantle to you. Here's your silver sword for you to continue doing what I'm doing. And with the Blood and Wine expansion as well, it wraps up Geralt's story perfect. He's given a plot of land and he ends up with a vineyard and he just settles down. So whoever your love interest is in throughout the course of the game, and I'm going to say this, shame on anybody who picks Triss. It's always Yennefer. You deserve to be hung from the gallows if you pick Triss. But if you don't pick anyone, Ciri's the one that ends up sitting there and meeting you, Geralt, because Ciri is his adopted daughter. This is an older Ciri, and the developers have touched base on this as well. There's no direction for how you play Ciri. Ciri in the game, even in Witcher 3, she's still trying to figure out who she is. She's been on the run for her whole life. She has no idea. She hasn't had the time to sit back and realize what she wants to do or who she is. So that's the fun part of this, is there's no canon pick of decision making that you can make with her. It's you can do whatever you want. You can do the same thing in The Witcher 3, but deep down, if you've followed the books, if you've played the other games, there's certain things that Geralt just would not do. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a perfect decision. The only thing that could have been better is saying, here's The Witcher 4, make your own Witcher. There's a new school, there's a new Trial of the Grasses, make your own Witcher, go out into the world with your own character. This is the next best thing, and I'm super excited for it. I'm totally here for it.
Well,
Awesome.
I'm excited to see what sort of content that content creators can make out of this too. I know Witcher 3 was probably the most beloved out of any of the CD Projekt Red games in its entire library. I mean, as good as Cyberpunk has become, I still don't think it holds a candle in terms of the popularity for for The Witcher 3. So I don't suspect that Witcher 4 will be any different. I think there's going to be a ton of hype and a ton of excitement around it. So it'd be cool to see. It's not really my kind of game. I did try playing the first Witcher, and I think I only played maybe a couple of hours on it, and I eventually just put it away just because it just wasn't for me. But I mean,
Witcher 1 or Witcher 3?
Witcher 1. If I'm
You
not
should try.
if I don't finish the first one, I'm not going to play the other two.
You should try 3.
No, if I don't
I
play
didn't
the
play
first,
the
if I
other
didn't
two.
finish, if I didn't finish the first one, I'm not going to play the other two.
Oh, that's a shame. No, and as I said, I there is going to be a lot that they can do with this, and I think that Ryder is absolutely right. It is, I think, CD Projekt Red's biggest game that they've ever done.
Mhm.
And it is now my second favorite game ever made. There's only one game that's ahead of it, and it was Witcher 3 was dethroned this year. But it's very, very high up there. And it's the only game in my library that I have sunk 1,000 hours into.
Well, that's not the only bit of Witcher news we have, because we also have something about Witcher's map size, or Witcher 4's map size. As for how big the map is going to be, game director Sebastian Kalmba shed some light on the topic in an interview with Skill Up. He said the map is definitely more or less when it comes to size. The amount of quests more or less the same. Again, the game is going to be big, but also the ambition of the entire team is huge. So first and foremost, we want to deliver super compelling experience. Again, quality over quantity. But definitely, what what we can promise, yes, this game is going to be pretty big. It's going to be big compared to everything we prepared for, Kalimba added. What do you think, Maverick?
If you've played The Witcher 3, you know the size of these maps. They're massive. There's three
Massive.
major maps. Um, there is the White Orchard. That was the one I was blanking on. White Orchard, and then you have Skellige, and then you have Novigrad. You have that whole section as well. It is huge. Um, I do know that a lot of people that have gotten into games like this, and I'm bad for it too, where you load up a map and you go, oh, there's all of this. This is too much. And you kind of get overwhelmed by how many question marks you have on the map to go and explore. This game it's the most overwhelmed I've ever been in a game getting into it. Um, and it's gotten to a point where it's like I have to go do a quest of some sort to take a break from exploring so much because there's just too much exploring. I It's totally worth going after every nook and cranny and every piece of treasure because you can break things down and craft because crafting is huge in this game. Um, so if they're going to go the same direction, again, I'm here for it. Um, and I've 100%ed and platinumed basically every single Assassin's Creed game since Origins. So this is not anything new for me. I'm gonna say bring it on, but I'm also at the point where I'm starting to get a little open world fatigue, to be completely honest.
Mm.
And it is getting to be a little too much when it comes to games like this. I do think we need more games like the maps of God of War, where it's you have a level to explore. You have a smaller area to explore. You have a path to go on, and like you can deviate, but it's not over. And there is an open world area to explore, but it's not overwhelming. I'm here for that. That's fine. But it gets to the point where these open world games just need to tone it down a little bit.
And their response will be no.
And I will buy it anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Another game that I will be dropping another 1,000 hours into.
That was very well synchronized. Congratulations.
Very. It was, wasn't it? It's like we planned it, which we did.
As for my opinion on it, like again, like I said, because Witcher's not really my game. I mean, yeah, they're talking about big map size, but I mean, is it? I mean, there's No Man's Sky. I mean, let's talk about big here. Come on. No, okay, that's a pretty unfair comparison because you can have like how many thousands of planets to explore, and you can explore the entire planet. So yeah, that's a little bit unfair comparison. But I know exactly what Matt feels in regards to having so many question marks pop up because I recently had that issue with Star Wars Outlaws where I started doing a couple of side quests here and there once we got to the first planet, which starts with a T. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Tatooine.
No, that was the third planet. But anyways, where you first get the ship. But yeah, like just adventuring around, trying to go from quest point to quest point, and there's all these side quest markers and open world objectives and things like that that kept popping up. And treasure hunts. Like treasure hunts are also the big thing too, and those are the ones that I had a hard time ignoring because I'm a completionist. And you know, you get the promise of shiny loots, and you want to go check it out. So I don't foresee Witcher 4 being any different. And I don't foresee it being any different than how Mav explained it to be, where it's going to be question marks popping up all over the place. Here's a shiny over here. Here's a shiny over here. You want to go to your quest objective? Here's a couple shinies over here. Go get them, boy.
Yeah, like I got to the point with Witcher 3 where it's like, okay, my main objective is in the northwest. My bag is half full. I'm just going to hit every question mark I can hit until it's full, and then I'll go do the objective. Because it's just.
And then you realize that you can't do the objective because your bags are so full. You're like, crap, I gotta go back to town and sell all the stuff I just picked up. I gotta head back. Oh wait, there's more shinies over there. Hang on a second.
Yeah, then next thing you know, you pick up another sword and you're over encumbered. It's like, oh, now I'm walking slow.
Oh god, it's Skyrim all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, so but luckily, when you call your horse, the horse doesn't care. You can still gallop with the horse, so that's something. But yeah, it's a pain when it comes to that. Then you're breaking stuff down to craft, and yeah, there's a lot there. But I love that game. There's two games that if I only had access to two games for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. That's Red Dead Redemption and Witcher 3. You gave me those two games, I would play those straight for a year if I had to. If I had no other games, and I could do it, no problem. I could play them every day, have no issues.
There's your new speedrun challenge. Try and do both games and 100% both games, and do it before the end of the year. Not this year, next year. I mean,
no,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Actually, I was thinking of doing a platinum run for Witcher 3. But you have to beat the game on Death March.
Oh, good luck with that.
Which is, yeah, that's exactly why I'm like, maybe not.
All right, moving on to our next story. Here's a cheery bit of news. Stellar Blade gets a holiday update. Shift Up has announced that Stellar Blade will get a free holiday-themed update, which was released on December 17th. In this update, Eve gets a Santa dress, and Adam gets the iconic I'm No Santa costume, complete with a full white beard. Eve can complement her holiday look by also equipping the Santa Girl hairstyle and the snow crystal glasses, wreath earrings, and sleigh ear cuffs. Eve's drone also receives the Rudolph pack that attaches a new look complete with red nose and horn. That's something a little cheery for the holiday season.
Yeah, but if you understand the art style, I'll just say two words: jingle bells.
Good point. Good point.
Oh.
And we're canceled.
Yeah. Oh no, that's coming.
Ryder.
That's coming. I've jumped back into this game here and there too. I love this game. It's so much fun. This is the type of thing, and the reason why I wanted to throw it on our script tonight is because not enough developers are doing this type of thing and giving these free updates. Stellar Blade did it, and Astrobot did it. I did play the Astrobot new DLC, the Christmas one. That was a blast. You get everything done. You pick up all the gifts. your bot that you end up getting is Spider-Man. So that was really cool. So when they have these types of DLCs and this type of content they add in, it's great, especially when it's free. It's like, you know what, you guys are loyal fans. Here you go. And this is the type of thing the developers need to be able to start doing, to start keeping us engaged, and have a reason for us to jump back into it. And bringing content in like this is great. It gives hope for the players that are out there too, that they're not just wanting into our wallets for everything. So this is fantastic, and I'm definitely going to be checking it out, I think, in the next little while.
Yeah, I think the same. More developers should be doing the same with holiday themes like this. But it also has to work for the game as well. Because can you imagine a holiday theme for like The Witcher or God of War?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
maybe I'm the
could
only one
totally
then.
see Kratos in a Santa suit.
Ho ho ho, boy.
And I mean, he rides around in a dog sled, for Christ's sake. Just turn the dogs into reindeer.
Just do exactly like the Grinch did.
Yes, exactly.
give them that same costume.
So I mean,
there we go.
And then you would have Freya dressed up. Oh no, I don't want to say too much yet with that. I was going to say, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to wreck it a little bit.
Already
Have Freya dressed up as Mrs. Claus. Kratos is Santa. Freya is Mrs. Claus.
If you really wanted to spread that a little bit more, you could
elf.
Yeah, there you go. So you could also have an alternate costume too, and have Kratos dressed up as Krampus.
That would be good too.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, further to that point too, yeah, absolutely, developers should be doing more stuff like this. The flip side of things is that we do still see this a lot, but kind of in reverse, where we're seeing it a lot being added to free-to-play games, but they're added as paid costumes, like paid cosmetics in their stores. Marvel Rivals has recently just done that now with a few costumes for Groot. You can dress them up basically kind of like a Christmas tree. They even have a cute little costume for Jeff the Land Shark, which, by the way, is an amazing character in that game. If you've never heard of this Marvel character before, read up on him. Jeff is absolutely amazing, and he's super fun to play in Marvel Rivals. But I digress. Yeah, like there's a lot of costumes that are appearing in Marvel Rivals. They're doing the same thing in Warzone with a lot of the operators getting Christmas suits. I'm sure they'll probably do the same thing in games like CS:GO 2. They'll probably do it in Fortnite. They'll probably do it in, however many other games that are out there. But there'll be paid options in the store. So even though the game itself is free to play, if you want the Christmas cosmetics, you either have to grind like crazy for them, or you just simply buy them outright in the stores.
Yeah, they do it in Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis too. You got holiday themed get-ups for Yuffie, Vincent, Tifa, Zack, Aerith. You gotta grind to get them, but yeah, you're seeing it a lot more often now.
I do have to say though, when it comes to free to play games, it makes sense that they charge people, because how else are they supposed to make?
True.
Well,
anything?
yeah,
like, I mean, that's the one case that it's all right. I mean, if you're going to charge anything for any additional content like that, keep it a lower cost. Like, there is a Stellar Blade Nier Automata or Automata DLC that's available, and it's $13. So you get different costs. Like, there are cosmetics, but they add different content of different bosses and that type of thing to fight too. So I mean, when you have that kind of content, I'm okay with paying that. And with the cosmetics, you don't have to pay for it, but the free-to-play games, they do need to make their money somewhere, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, let's move on to our next news story, and that's Capcom is planning on reviving most of its dormant franchises. On December 12th, during this year's Not Too Bad Game Awards, Capcom announced Onimusha Way of the Sword and revealed that an Okami sequel was in the very early stages of development. Both reveals were big surprises. Capcom hasn't published a new Okami game since that weird DS spin-off, Okemiden, in 2010. Meanwhile, it's been almost 20 years since the last proper new action-adventure Onimusha. That last released in 2006's Onimusha Dawn of Dreams on PS2. That's a long time ago. So seeing both franchises get new sequels announced in 2024 was unanticipated, to say the least. And Capcom isn't done bringing back old franchises. Over the weekend, shortly after the Game Awards, Capcom put out a corporate press release reconfirming its plans to revive Onimusha and Okami. In that press release, the publisher behind Monster Hunter and Resident Evil also explained that it wants to create new installments in other non-specific dormant franchises. In addition to regularly releasing major new titles each year, Capcom is focusing on reactivating dormant IPs that haven't had a new title launch recently, said Capcom in the November 13th press release. We saw a lot of dormant franchises get announced at the
very
Game
much
Awards
so.
this year. Like
Absolutely.
Virtua Fighter, that was one that was not on my bingo card at all.
Well, then you called out Turok, and then
Yeah, I
Saracel called out,
Turok.
Saracel
Ninja
called out
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden, yeah.
Yep.
So,
And
I
And I
mean,
mean,
Onimusha.
even during the Summer Games Fest, there was still Perfect Dark that was announced. You
Yep.
know, that
Yeah.
was another one that was coming, that was expected.
and there was also Marvel vs. Capcom that was nominated for the fighting game category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, even Sega's jumping into it. Crazy Taxi's still slated as well at some point in time too. Like that's
Yep.
in development.
Oh, they got a lot of titles coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a lot happening.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, uh, revitalizations and remakes and is fine. In
Oh
this
yeah.
case, bringing them back, I've got no issues with it. But when you have people like you have Sony redeveloping and doing a remake for The Last of Us Part 2, like that type of thing just grinds my gears. I mean, yeah, I paid for the upgrade. Like an upgrade is fine, like paying for that, but keep it again. Like I think I did the upgrade for Horizon of $15, but I mean, in some cases, a lot of this stuff it doesn't need to be done. I'm bad for it because I'm contradicting myself. I'm going to pay for the games that I really enjoy to get like this done, but it doesn't need to happen. Like Days Gone is apparently supposed to be getting a remastered version here in the next little while. That's in development. I was actually expecting that at the game show. That was on my bingo card. That didn't show up, but I'm going to expect that the next State of Play or the next PlayStation Showcase will be there. That doesn't need to happen, but it brings it. I have to admit, it does bring in new fans into the franchises, especially when it comes to these beloved series. Omnimusha, I've never played. I'm excited to give that one a go when it comes out. Though these types of games, I'm behind more of. Bring it on. But they don't need to redo everything. Just let's just start making new content, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things I'd love to see happen with Capcom, probably my most favorite IP out of Capcom, they done it once on GameCube already, but to remaster it and use today's technology, basically update the game to today's kind of versions of remake and remastered graphics, and then give it to the people. Give me the Mega Man collection again, because that was a lot of fun on GameCube.
Sorry, I know Monster's not here with us today, but I can hear him screaming right now. Ryder, that's absolutely right. Yeah, I remember talking with him the next day saying, where the hell is Mega Man?
Yeah.
Like Mega Man made an appearance in Secret Level.
Give
like,
me Mega Man 3. Wait, I'm kidding. So technically, if anything, give me Mega Man 2. That was the better one. But...
Yeah, I can hear Monster screaming right now how much he agrees with you.
But yeah, bring back the Mega Man collection. Give it a fresh coat of paint. Give it some new graphics. Give it a remastered OST. I would be all over that instantly the day it was announced.
And I know it's not Capcom, but I'm going to keep ringing this bell. Square, re-release or remake Parasite Eve. Please. Game was so good. So good. Never finished it, but so good. Like, I got to the very end of it, but never finished it.
That last boss was
a pain in the tuchus.
That was a hum of a dinger.
That was it ever.
Never played.
And another one that they need to re-release, Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah,
that's another bell I won't stop ringing either.
A lot of people are ringing that bell. A lot of people are ringing that bell. You know what? I'm going to make a really wild prediction.
Okay.
Just because they put it on the PlayStation catalog, I got a feeling that one's going to be redone.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. And then port it to like PC.
It'll take them a
That's
year.
always the tough part, though. Like porting to PC is a lot harder than a lot of people think.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's move on to our next news story, and that is Elden Ring Nightreign can only be played in single player or as a trio. Elden Ring is now officially a series, as the announcement of Elden Ring Nightreign at the Game Awards last week threw all FromSoft fans for a loop. Not only was it a new Elden Ring game, but it was also online focused, a roguelite, and has featured pitches from games like Fortnite and Apex Legends. Izaki explains that Elden Ring Nightreign can only be played in single player or in a team of 3, meaning you cannot play the game with just one other friend. When asked by IGN whether you play the game as a pair, uh, Ishaki outright states, no, it's either one player or 3 player. So that doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room there, does it?
Not really. That kind of
It's so
confuses
weird.
me too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's so weird. And that's
Like to
one of the
have
reasons
one
why
or
I had to throw it
three.
in the script. Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, I
I
mean, Call
mean-
of Duty, like you can play solo quads if you wanted to, if you're that much of a masochist or if you're that good of a COD pro. Same thing for the other modes too. Like you can play as a duo in a quad mode or a duo in a trios match. So I don't understand what the holdup is for Elden Ring to not be able to play as a duo. It's definitely it's that one's bizarre to me. That's an interesting decision.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with the difficulty spike. But I'm also curious on what ends up happening. Like let's say that the 3 of us are playing and I have a really really bad night with my network and my network goes down and I drop out. What happens to the other 2 players that are in the
Yeah.
game? Do they
I
keep
imagine we
going?
automatically get kicked.
Like, do you guys get split up into your own games? Like, how is that going to work?
That would be the only other way I
Because
could think about is if you were to drop out and then Rob and I would basically get split up in our own instances of games where whatever he does happens in his game, whatever I do happens in my game, and then whatever happens to you because your network went down, so you're calling up your ISP and yelling at them over the phone.
it's bizarre. I don't understand the logic behind it.
No, me neither.
But I'm sure that there's going to be way more release when the time comes, and this might turn enough heads to be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Just
Maybe if
make
they
it
figure
so
it
it's
out, they'll actually get nominated for Game of the Year properly.
Maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not
I mean,
wrong.
you know what? I do have to ask though. Wasn't that stage? It was like that the Game Awards. It was a full event, right? Because Jeff Keighley did sell out.
Any chance I can
Yeah,
take to use the soundboard.
and that
We'll
joke
wait.
was made during the Game Awards, but still
Nice Statler and
works.
Waldorf.
Yeah, that still works. And we better keep
so great.
this show rolling. Yeah, ran off a cliff.
Oh, so on to our final news story, and Hamaguchi-san, I think you opened the floodgates with this one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Director asks fans not to make inappropriate mods upon its PC release. Final Fantasy VII Director Naoki Hamaguchi has asked fans to please not make inappropriate mods when the role-playing game comes to PC on January 23rd. Hamaguchi told the Epic Games Store that while the team has no plans to add official mod support to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth akin to, for example, Baldur's Gate 3 developer Larian Studios, it does support the creation of mods, so long as they're appropriate. While the team has no plans for official in-game mod support, we respect the creativity of the mod community and welcome their creations, Hamaguchi said. Though we ask modders not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. And with that, you're just asking for it.
Pretty
because
much.
I go on the Nexus mods to check every once in a while, see if there's something nice, new I can mod into Final Fantasy VII Remake. And yeah, I've seen some things.
Yeah,
I've
no,
seen some
I've had to
things.
scrub my eyes out with bleach on a
Dark
couple of
corners of-
occasions.
Been on the dark corners of the net there, Rob, or what?
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
I
Pirate
mean,
Bay.
I mean, that's the first thing that I thought of when the announcement came out that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was coming to PC. It's like, okay, how many people are going to mod this? So when you get to the Costa del Sol portion of the game, you're on the beach and Tifa's naked
Mm-hmm.
because you know it's
Yeah,
coming. You
I
know
know.
it's coming.
As soon as yeah, and that's kind of the first thing I thought too. I'm going, okay, so they're releasing this on PC on a platform that has the ability to add mods to it. Yes, I'm sure everybody is going to be gentle and respectful here.
Oh yeah.
Much like it's like the same thing I'm thinking when they were, they're planning on adding voice messages to YouTube, where you can leave voice messages instead of text comments. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure this particular feature will not be, abused and disrespected in any way, shape, or form by people. So
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII mods are probably going to follow the same way. Where, yeah, at the very least, the one thing that we could definitely see, or definitely guarantee, is that we're not going to see this type of content on YouTube or Twitch, at
Right.
least for very long, because they have rules against that. If you're gonna mod a game, it still has
So
to
you're
be
saying it's going to be
presentable.
on Pornhub?
Probably. Boom, but you're boom, boom.
Oh,
But yeah, like in terms of like the main streaming platforms and content platforms, we're probably not going to see it. There's probably going to be people talking about it, but you're not going to see it because, again, like I said, there are rules specifically against using mods like this in your content to show excessive nudity and things like that.
Right.
so I think that this was bound to happen regardless.
Oh
Just
yeah, absolutely.
not because of the character creation, but because of the people that were outspoken about it, that were pissed off about how the characters were created, like designed in the game, and how the internet blew up about it. Oh
Mhm.
my god, there's an attractive woman in this game, we're going to get pissed off, you know and we put them in swimsuits. Oh my god. The moment that happened is the moment that this floodgate opened for
Yeah.
this situation.
Yeah.
People will do it just to spite. They say, "Screw you. We're gonna do whatever the hell we want." And the thing is, opening it up to PC, you're going to open it up to modding. They gotta know that this is coming. This is why this was released.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're hoping that people are going to
I'm
deviate into this. But you know what? Honestly, at this point, I hate to say it, just steer into the skid. Like, it's going to happen regardless, with or
Yeah.
without your say so. And don't release a statement if you're opposed to it, because it's just going to ask people to do it more.
Oh, exactly.
I think.
Well,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead,
Go
Ryan.
ahead. Oh, I was
No, you
gonna
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say at least if they say something like this, like please don't make anything offensive. At least they can say, going, look, we said don't make anything offensive. Whereas if they say nothing at all, maybe silence is acceptance type of thing, or silence is
Yeah.
compliance, or whatever, however you wanna word it.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot when this news story came out. I saw this a lot on a lot of the Final Fantasy Facebook pages that I'm on. Everyone was saying, "Well, this is only going to make people do it even more." It's like, yeah, absolutely, it will. It's like you tell a child, "No, don't touch that toy." They want to touch that toy, and
Yeah.
you tell somebody, "No, don't make a nude mod of Tifa." They're going to make a nude mod of Tifa, no matter
I mean,
what.
we're adult gamers. We're still children. Let's come to grips with it here. We're
That's a
still
very good
basically
point.
kids.
That's a
But
very excellent point.
but you know what? Maybe they should have it as like a kid going to put a penny in the electrical socket. You let them put their penny in the electrical socket, and if once they do that, it's like, oh, they learned a lesson. Have something like that where it's like, oh, you did that, you can't play it until this mod is removed. Like something along those lines, if they're that opposed to it.
I don't know if they
But
can go
I
that
don't.
far, because I mean there's a lot of code that has to go into that. But you could probably
Yeah.
look at things like the people that actually make these particular mods. A lot of places like Nexus Mods, you can flag mods for inappropriateness, or you can flag mods for other things, like this isn't actually a mod, it's actually a virus that's been installed on my computer, that sort of thing. So I mean, the modders themselves could technically be flagged for stuff like this, but obviously it's up to the community to police that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you see like 10 Tifa nude model mods and 5 Jesse nude model mods and 7 Aerith nude model mods, there's not a lot of policing that's going on there.
Well, why did Aerith get more than the other two?
No, I said 10 for Tifa because she's like the most popular one.
Oh yeah, I guess. I think you said 5%.
Which I won't dispute that one. You know, I've said from the very beginning, you know, Aerith is my favorite character, but I won't dispute the fact that Tifa is more popular, with good reason too. But
I mean, 2 of them.
yeah.
But regardless, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
What can you do? You can't really do anything, and you're just pushing people to do it more.
Yeah, at least they said something. I think that's kind of the key part to it. It's rather.
I guess that gives them plausible deniability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the term I was looking for. Thank you.
Hey, smart. So that is it for the news for this week and this year. Yes, this is our final episode for the 2024 calendar year. It has been a great year for the podcast, and guys, I just want to say it's been an honor being with you guys for this year. I'm looking forward to 2025 and doing it all again and taking this thing as high as it can go.
Not to mention, we've been doing this for a year now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. That's another thing. This past week we celebrated 1 year of the Level 1 Lounge podcast, so it was nice having Chewy back on for a couple episodes. One of the OGs.
Yeah, and it's been great to have guest hosts like Sarcel and Monster join us once in a while as well.
Yeah, we need to do that more.
And I'm excited to see who else we eventually bring on to join our antics once in a while as well. So yeah,
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to the future with you guys as well.
Same. Yeah, absolutely same. I mean, 2025's got a lot to bring. So obviously, you know, we're gonna have all the news. We're gonna have all the game reviews. You know, potentially we might even add some group games to the Level 1 Lounge repertoire. Obviously, like I think I said, Helldivers 2 just came out with their new Illuminate DLC. Marvel Rivals is cross-play across all platforms. So you know, we can play with the PlayStationers and Xboxers,
PCs
and PC players out there. So yeah, no, hopefully there'll be more games to come where you might see a few of us do some group games on for the podcast as well.
That would be fun. That would be really fun. So if nobody has anything else to talk about,
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, yeah. I guess we can power down the system for the year, guys. Thank you for joining us this week for this episode. Thank you for joining us for this year again. Thank you so much. Just blast doing this podcast. So let's go around the horn and get everybody. Agent Maverick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch. I've been streaming a little bit more often. I did a little bit of streaming there with Indiana Jones. That's been put on hiatus though. I'm going to get through that game though, kind of in my downtime and get a review out on that. You're going to be able to find that on the new Geek Corner. I failed to put up a review for Gladiator 2. I'll get that up here the next little while. And there will also be a review this upcoming weekend for Sonic 3. So I'm going to be going out and seeing that here. Hawk is going to be joining me for that. So we're going to go check that out. I don't know what my stream schedule is going to be like here for next year. But keep your eyes peeled on the new Geek Corner. I'm thinking about maybe doing Nier Automata or doing Metaphor. I haven't really decided. Metaphor is a really long game, so I don't know if I'm going to dedicate that much time to streaming it or not. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the new Geek Corner. I will keep you informed there.
Cool. Ryder, where can we find you?
You guys can still find me over on Twitch, although I did just wrap up Dragon Quest III 2D HD Remake. So that one is going to be done. My streams are actually done for the year as well. I am in the process of shifting to weekends with my job, and then I'll be transitioning to overnights. Unfortunately, with the days off in between, I will be actually traveling out of town with family to celebrate Christmas. So I will not be available for any streams. However, I am still going to be hopefully making some additional YouTube content to round out the year. So not only do I have my Twitch streams available, I do have my Twitch VODs available for my recent gameplays. But I've also set up some videos as well. I just recently went over my top 5 games of the year, including my personal pick for game of the year. I bet you can't guess which one.
With Stellar Blade, right?
yeah. The one that I haven't purchased is my personal game of the year. Congrats, Mav.
I figured.
You win the internet for today. But yeah, so I did my top 5 and game of the year for that. I do have a couple other videos coming out talking about a game that I have already reviewed, but now is out in full, out in full release, called Deathless Tales of Old Russ. Plus, I'll also be talking about a game that's actually a blast from my personal past called Shadow Veil, which surrounds the story of Legend of the Five Rings. This is an old card game that I used to play years and years ago. So this particular IP has now kind of come out of the woodwork. So I'm super excited to cover about that. So make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel with the notification bell on there so you don't miss when those particular episodes release.
Excellent. You can find me over on YouTube where I post every Monday and Friday. After this Friday, I will be taking the rest of the year off. So there'll be no new videos, but I will have a special upload going up on Thursday on Boxing Day here in Canada. You can also catch me on Twitch where right now I'm streaming every Saturday and Sunday for 2 hours, 9 till 11. But that will be changing come the 23rd. I will be streaming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as of the 23rd at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll be streaming that from 1 till 5 on Thursday, 1 till 5 on Friday, and then 9 till noon on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm doing like a 4-day stretch there until the game's pretty much done. So I'll be on Twitch a lot more in the new year. And along with that, you can also get a copy of my novel Shade Falling on Amazon. You can get it through their Kindle e-reader or on paperback. All right, well, that wraps it up for us. Have a great rest of the year, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy 2025, and we will see you again in the new year. For Agent Maverick 86 and Rider Pride 639, that's it. Too many numbers. You guys need less numbers. Be like me. No more numbers. Anyway, for Agent Maverick 86 and Rider Pride, Rider Pride 639, there we go. Finally got it out eventually. I am the Irish Bandit, and we'll see you again on the next level. Take care, everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Take care.